Why does it seem like the world is falling apart? I can't be the only one who sees this. It doesn't matter where you look, everything just seems so wrong. As a society, we're unhappier and we're more lost than we've ever been. Nothing seems to work like it used to, and everybody seems to be suffering on some level because of it. Certainly, the world has gone through plenty of ups and downs. There's been lots of low points in our history, but something about what's happening in our world today seems different. Like we're facing things on a level that we've never experienced before. On one hand, our world is more global and connected than it's ever been at any point in our history. And yet, on the other, it seems like it's all coming apart and leaving us more disconnected than ever before. Disconnected from each other and ourselves. The world we've created for ourselves just isn't working for us anymore. But how did we get so far down the wrong path? What did we do that led us here? And is there any way to fix it? Growing up in the 90s, I got to experience the world at what I see as its peak. We created a global society, technology and the internet was really coming into its own. We were more educated than ever before. Life was prosperous. Money, jobs, and opportunities were readily available. And not just that, but we were so connected to one another, and we were kind to each other. I spent so many days and nights running around the neighborhood with my friends, climbing trees, riding our bikes across town, having fun and experiencing life. You'd see and meet people everywhere you went. And people were happy, like truly happy. Life was good. There was this intrinsic sense of community, like we all belonged. We all had our place. We shared in life with each other. I don't think I have to tell you, but that sense of community, of belonging, that happiness that we felt back then, it's gone. Now, when you go out into the world, people are disconnected. The smiles are gone, and a lot of the time, the neighborhoods are empty. Where are all the people? Where are the kids playing in the streets, riding their bikes through the neighborhood? Where are the people gathered outside with each other, talking and having fun? When you see people outside now, they're just trying to get somewhere, from point A to point B, as quickly as possible. The community's gone silent. What happened? Studies are showing that since 2003, in roughly just 20 years, time spent alone has risen sharply by about 45% for people between the ages of 15 and 29. And it's up roughly 20% for 30 to 44-year-olds. To make it worse, we've replaced that time we spent with other people with time spent online, endlessly scrolling through social media, with only meaningless surface interactions with other people. We now spend on average 7 hours a day on the internet, and about 90% of our time indoors. While these things had been on the rise for decades, the pandemic brought it all to an even worse level, and the numbers have never really gone back down. And when you look at relationships, dating, and marriage, the numbers look just as bad. A study conducted in 2021 revealed recently that 1 in 4 adults will remain single for their whole lives. Other studies show 37% of singles under the age of 30 aren't interested in dating, with half of all singles not actively looking for a relationship. And in the last 100 years, marriage rates have fallen by half. Friendships and meaningful relationships are down across the board. The numbers are bad no matter where you look. As if that wasn't bad enough, now not only are we disconnected from each other, but we're divided on everything. Left versus right, male versus female, science versus religion. We're divided by race, nationality, belief, worldview, literally everything. And we fight about it. We fight with our friends and our family, with our neighbors and coworkers. We fight online. And we fight on a global level too, nation against nation. There's so much conflict and chaos in the world today, everywhere you look, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. We've divided ourselves up into little micro communities, echo chambers, where only those who agree with you are allowed, and anyone who disagrees is ridiculed and shamed. We're increasingly isolating ourselves, and we're divided on everything. The society we're creating for ourselves is not healthy, and it's hurting us. It's making us unhappier than we've ever been before on a massive scale. We've created a cold, calculating, brutal system, one that uses us to keep the system going at any cost, while we're forced to ignore ourselves. We've built huge, sprawling cities, unimaginable concrete jungles, and crammed ourselves into them. And with so many people all in one place, it ironically feels colder and emptier than anywhere else. We move from place to place like zombies, just following out our obligations. And we're all just strangers to each other. We're becoming robotic and shut off, just like the machines and computers that rule our lives. As our world falls apart, it doesn't serve us like it used to. With the continuing and ever-increasing economic inflation, the cost of goods has gone up dramatically over the last 50 years. Our spending power is being eroded to almost nothing, and now we're forced to spend almost all of our time working just to scrape by. Since 1970, the cost of goods has risen a whopping 700%, while wage growth, adjusted for inflation, has basically flatlined at best, or sunk at worst. When it comes to housing, a fundamental necessity, the numbers are equally concerning. In the United States, in 1963, the average house cost just $17,800, whereas data as recent as 2023 shows average prices more than $436,000. That's an insane 2,354% increase. In Canada, prices went from $42,600 to over $723,000, a 1,597% increase. Rent prices have gone up by over 2,000%. Grocery prices are up 914%. The numbers are unbelievable. With the whole system breaking down, we're forced to work harder and harder for less and less. We spend the majority of our time working or sleeping, and most of what's left over is wasted on tasks just to keep ourselves alive, like eating or running errands. The little bit of money we make is quickly gone, taken from us on overpriced goods and taxes. And in the end, we have almost nothing left for ourselves, money or time. It's why so many people are feeling burnt out, retreating from the world. The opportunities that people once had are gone, taken from us by a system that doesn't care about us. We're wasting our lives doing what we've been told to do, what was expected of us, and we're getting nothing in return. We're forced to give up on ourselves and our dreams in the process. It all seems so pointless. What are we doing it for? As we retreat to our online spaces and the little bit of free time we have, too burnt out to do anything else, we're creating a new culture, a permanently online one that promotes conflict, materialism, and nihilism. Our online spaces push us to fight with each other, ridiculing each other for our opinions. The never-ending stream of people with perfect lives, big houses, expensive cars, and fame crushes our sense of self and what it means to be a person. And we find spaces where we connect with others to laugh about how terrible everything is, further cementing the depressing feeling we have, just to help us cope with it. This new digital reality we find ourselves in is warping our minds and shaping our reality. Social media has become a trap that we can't get out of. We're also being bombarded by news, television, and our movies. All day long, horrible or divisive news articles scroll across our screens, making us scared and anxious. Our TV shows and movies keep us living in fantasy, disconnecting us from the outside world and objective reality. We're being blasted by advertisements telling us to consume. And across all of our media, we're being fed agendas and propaganda, further slanting our sense of who we are, controlling what we think, and dividing and isolating us even further. We just can't go on like this. The cost of how we've chosen to live as a society is too high, and the reward is almost non-existent. We now have a population that is unhappy, anxious, and lost. People are losing their identities, their sense of self, and their purpose. So many of us are just living to survive and never thriving. We have an epidemic of extreme loneliness and a massive increase in mental health issues, with about 25% or 1 in 4 of the population suffering from mental illness. Our values and our morals are eroding. Our governments and institutions, the structures that are supposed to hold the system together, are crumbling under their own weight, having become too corrupt and out of touch with us, with about half or less having any faith in them at all, and young people's trust coming in even lower than that. Our economy is spiraling out of control, and our culture, the glue that holds us all together, is dissolving. All of this is happening at an ever-increasing rate, and it's happening across the globe. But it didn't always used to be like this, and it doesn't have to be this way anymore if we make the right changes. The problem is we've lost touch with ourselves and our place in the universe. We've lost touch with our souls. Going back into primordial times, and for much of our history, we lived as one with nature, with each other, and with the cosmos. We've always struggled to survive on one level or another, and we still fought with each other, but we never let it get so out of hand that it threatened to tear down everything we built completely and on a global level. We were forced to work together, to build communities, to work for a common goal. We learned to live with nature and each other. We had purpose and identity, and we looked at the stars contemplating our place in the universe. We had a deep connection with our authentic selves, and that guided us along the way. But our modern world's taken that away from us. It's replaced soul with materialism, nature with cold steel and concrete, and our connection with ourselves and each other with an empty void. But the solution to all of this is simple, if also a little complicated. What we need to do is obvious, but how we get there may be a little rocky. We need to go back to our roots, reconnect with nature, with each other, and with the cosmos. We need to go back outside again, stare at the stars, and find our wonder again. We need to rebuild our communities, get off the internet, and spend meaningful time with each other. Learn to treat each other with kindness again, and let go of our divisions. We need to unplug from the system, let go of our obsession with materialism, and follow our dreams. We need to put ourselves first, but not in a selfish way, in a way where we all help each other live our best lives and be the best version of ourselves. We all just need to slow down a little and find ourselves again. The road ahead of us isn't going to be easy, but nothing good ever is. If we make the right decisions and work hard to realign ourselves with ourselves, everything will start falling into place for us. Because what we're doing now is unnatural. We've created something so out of balance, it's amazing that it worked as long as it did, or at all. When we start doing what's natural again, we'll reconnect with that lost part of ourselves, and we'll find the balance and harmony that we've been missing all this time. We'll find ourselves again, and each other, and we'll build something new, something that serves us again, and helps us thrive. It's not too late for us, and the best part is, we all have the power. It's up to us what direction we go from here. I actually think our future is really bright, even if it looks dark right now. We just have to realign with our true selves, and we'll create a world where we're all truly happy.